Best thing about them, too, is each of their locations, whether it's the home base here in Elyria, Ohio that I work with, or their spots in Virginia, Florida, and Pennsylvania, it's all local sourced. Very important to me because we all understand that small business is the lifeblood of the community. So check them out, signsandship.com, or call Chris and Pam today, 440-323-6060, the home office in Elyria, Ohio. Signs and Ship, quality printing at affordable prices.
It's an addiction. The Sports Fix. We'll be right back.
Fantasy sports lovers, you put so much time, hard work, and effort into playing week to week that it quickly stops being a fantasy and starts getting real. Real time spent making real decisions, creating real victory.
I'm the greatest man in the world!
And when the smoke clears, you want to show off those victories with a real prize. I mean, a really real prize.
Yeah.
Nobody does that like Fantasy Jocks. The crew over at Fantasy Jocks have beautiful, high-quality, and heavy-duty championship belts, rings, trophies, and so much more for all your fantasy sports needs.
The trophy's 12 feet high, and it is glorious!
Football, baseball, hoops, you name it, they have it. Plus, they have awesome draft kits and party supplies to make all your preseason activities the envy of everyone. If your league needs a ring, belt, or trophy, or you want to upgrade what you already have, there's literally only one place to go. If you're going to be a fantasy jock, do it right.
It's mine, the most magnificent belt ever created, and it's mine.
With America's fantasy sports superstore, fantasyjocks.com. No football? No problem at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. The excitement never stops. Every day of the week brings a different set of food and amazing drink specials.
And now,
fans, Harry Buffalo North Olmsted is the home for every UFC pay-per-view live on the big screens.
let's get it all!
And let's not forget their mouth-watering trademark, the Bison Burger.
They sure are good.
Nobody does bison like Harry Buffalo. The perfect combination of healthy and delicious.
Hey there, eat up, y'all. You's as good church-going folk. Y'all deserve a little treat.
What are you waiting for? Get to Harry Buffalo, just outside Great Northern Mall today. Harry Buffalo. Join the herd.
Hey, this is Alonzo G. You're listening to the Sports Fix.
I just felt like taking it to another level here, man. Nothing makes you feel good. I don't know. Nothing makes me feel good at the middle of, what is it, almost 2 o'clock here in the afternoon on Tuesday than a little Village People. Actually, the whole reason I played this is because when I was putting the music beds, I was putting the log together for the show. It's a funny little, just like a goofy meme came across me on Facebook, and I got the biggest laugh. I'm telling you, sometimes I'm so hard to please, and sometimes I'm so easily amused. I saw a meme come across, and it was just it was a survey from the YMCA, and at the bottom it was a picture taken of a survey that some guy got from his local YMCA that said, how did you hear about the YMCA? And of course he put the Village People as the answer, and it gave me a chuckle. So I said, I'm gonna play some YMCA. Plus, when I'm slugging through the workday and YMCA comes on the speakers, I always feel a little jazzed up, man. But then again, I got that Disco Jones in my bones anyway, man. Even though it came before me, man, I could have been a flower child. I could say that for sure. I don't know if I could have been a complete dirty hippie, but I definitely could have been a flower child for sure. Anyways, guys, welcome back to the Sports. As you can tell, I'm feeling good this afternoon. Hopefully, you guys are too. A good edition of the show today, a little bit different than. Wait a minute. Every day is a little bit different than what you hear somewhere else. But we talked Cavs, we talked Indians, we talked Browns. We've been all over the place. And tomorrow, no different. Before we even go anywhere else, tomorrow we have got a loaded slate. I know many of you, by the way, tune in expecting Doug Plagans on Tuesdays. Doug Plagans is on a bus right now heading to Grand Rapids. We made an executive decision this morning that the sound, it's going to be very poor quality, driving on a bus with a bunch of rowdy hockey players to try to get this interview in. So Doug's going to be on location in Grand Rapids. We'll get him on the show with us tomorrow, and we'll preview the Monsters game coming up, the roadie in the middle of the week here with Grand Rapids. But executive decision, he's like, hey, man, I don't know if this is going to work. I said, it's cool. We'll do it on Wednesday. So Doug Plagans, voice of the Lake Erie Monsters, is going to be with us here tomorrow as well. Eddie Jansen from More Than a Fan Cleveland Cavaliers beat writer going to join us to talk some Cavs hoops as we'll talk a little bit more about what we were talking about today as they've reached 500. Now, they get to rest and practice a bit together and heal up a little bit, the guys that are banged up this week. Then they play 3 and 4 days coming up this weekend. You got Friday, Saturday, and Monday. So Eddie Jansen will be here tomorrow talking Cavs. John McMullen, usually on Mondays. He had the Monday night game to cover with Philly yesterday. So he'll be with us on Wednesday. We'll talk some NFL and Browns. Look ahead to the Texans. We'll get his thoughts on the latest news going around the world of pro football. John McMullen from the Sports Network here, and Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan, as always, as well. Going to be here talking some Buckeyes. We'll preview Minnesota. I'm hearing that word trap game again, man. I don't know. That Buckeyes offense is humming right now, man. But we'll talk about all of that and preview and look ahead with Dan Wismar. So a lot coming up tomorrow on a loaded Wednesday edition. Man, we haven't had a Wednesday that chock full of guest goodness in a while, man. Looking forward to it. Eddie Jansen, John McMullen, Dan Wismar, Doug Plagans. Going to be a fun time tomorrow on the Sports Fix, but it was fun today. Thanks to you guys for being with us, and Jeff Gorman, while I'm just giving shout-outs. Thanks to Jeff for being with us. Thanks to Dr. Football Bill Chachkes for being in the house as well. I saw a happy Veterans Day again to you guys. Charles over in the chat room asked me to give a shout out to some relatives as well. Tom Morgan, Patty Morgan in the Navy, in the Army, respectively. All of you guys, thank you so much for your service, because without you guys, I can't sit here and do this thing, and none of you sitting out there listening can do it. Well, maybe you could, but you may be held under a lot less free will than you have now. There may be some, I'm just saying, waterboarding may be a part of your daily life, but because of them, we get to enjoy the Sports Fix instead. Although, listening to Chuck Booms and those idiots on some of the radio dials is almost as bad as getting waterboarded every day either, so they torture you in their own way. However, we're talking about the actual definition of torture, not just being forced to listen to Chuck Booms on a loop. It's like Space Jam, Moron Mountain, being chained and Michael Jordan having to lose every game for the rest of his life. That's my version of that, would be chained somewhere and have to listen to that idiot on a loop all day long. But anyways, because of them, you have the freedom of choice to turn off idiots like Chuck Booms and turn on the Sports Fix. So my salute, double salute, just because of that. Happy Veterans Day, you guys, and always keep that in mind. You don't have to choose to fight. I always say, I've never done my service, but luckily for me, there's a whole lot of people who have, and I definitely would if I had to, but there's a whole lot of people who choose to do it so that people like me didn't have to, and I appreciate that every bit as much as well. Hey guys, you know what? We're not done. I'm getting ready to get out of here. Not quite. Real quick, yesterday, Cavaliers played. They're not the only one. I mentioned it. You heard us talk to Coach Waters last week. Vikings, their season tips off Friday. They've got Iona, but they had their one and only exhibition here against Malone. It was a good workout for the Vikings. Not much of a competition. After an early 9-4 deficit, they went on a 14-4 run, did the Vikings, and they never looked back. They won that game 69-48. Trey Lewis looked like he picked up right where he left off. 27 points. Anton Grady, 18 points, 9 boards. Had a couple of block shots as well. I believe Anton had a couple of blocks there in that game. 3 block shots, absolutely. Marlon Mason had 6 boards. Andre Yates, 9 points. Trey Lewis was 9 of 12 from the field, including 4 3-pointers, as we talked about last year a lot. You're going to hear that coming up here this year. Good victory, expected victory, and we'll see what happens when they start the season at Iona on the road this Friday night, the 2014-15 regular season for the Vikes. Going to tip off. Brian Stone led Malone last night with 14 points. So hats off to the Vikings. They've wrapped up their preseason, and now they go do it for real starting on Friday. We'll start talking all that. College hoops is in the loop here. Monsters back at it tomorrow. Tonight, kind of a kind of an easygoing night. There's no Tuesday night football. There's no NCAA games. There's really nothing. There's no Indians. There's no baseball. There's no. You can go through the loop. We talk about what a busy time of year this is, and then you get the occasional night like tonight. There is a slate of NBA games out there, if that's your thing. Lakers and Memphis. Got Orlando and Toronto. San Antonio and the Warriors. That'll be a good one. Late night basketball if you're into that. Absolutely, Charles. I'm going in alphabetical order through the sports, man. Hockey as well. You get the Blue Jackets tonight, as Charles just reminded me in the chat room. 7 p.m. puck drop. Speaking of Veterans Day, quite fitting. Washington Blue Jackets tonight, 7 p.m. So, hockey guys, there's a Blue Jackets game. Monsters off until tomorrow, as we said. And that's about it. So other than that, tonight's the night to enjoy this weather. Hopefully it stays up for you guys, even though it'll be nighttime by 3 o'clock, the way the sun goes down so quick. Enjoy it. Get out there and do something, because pretty soon you're going to be telling me, man, J-Rock, can you believe I woke up to snow and all of that's coming? So enjoy it. Get out there and do something tonight and come back tomorrow and talk about it. Call me. Say, hey, I mowed the lawn. All right. I really don't care if you mowed the lawn, but if you want to call and tell me, because I open up the phone every day. It's your show, so be here and do it and talk about it live at noon tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, right here on the Sports Fix and the Sports Fix Radio Network. We love you, Cleveland. Thank you for a fantastic day, a fun day. I had a ton of fun, you guys. Shut up, Charles. Charles in the chat room talking about 70 degrees. I'll tell you, if I was a mean guy, I'd give out your address and I'd just send them down there to take care of you myself, man. Anyways, Charles, have a good one. You guys have a good one. A great show. Happy Veterans Day once again. Really fun edition of the Sports Fix here today. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Hump Day edition, and do it again. Don't miss it. Eddie Jansen from More Than a Fan Cleveland talking Cavs. John McMullen talking NFL. Dan Wismar talking Browns and Buckeyes. Doug Plakins talking Monsters tomorrow live at noon here on The Fix.
King James, we are not the empire, but this is where the kings play.
Cleveland. Yeah, we rep our city. Blue lights separate the ground from the gritty. We're sick fitted. Hood pass over any city that we